All right, so welcome to the story thus far. This is for Party Two, who meets on Fridays at 6:30. This is Dog Pound Dungeons and Dragons, which is, as you can see, they're a unique D&D game. You have three different parties, all playing at the same time in the same game world, and they can all affect each other. There can be crossover episodes. What they do and how they affect the world is going to matter for more than just that party. The three separate parties, we have Party 1, which is on Sundays at 6 o'clock Eastern. You have Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern is Party 3, and Party 2, who we're going to cover today, are Fridays at 6:30 Eastern. Today we have with us from Party 2, Krailin. What's your full name, Krailin?
Thank you very much for having me here, but my full name is Krailin Urist Rosebar. Rosebar is my mother's name.
Thank you so much. So let's tell us a little bit about where you started out. What was where did you start out here in Emer?
Well, I was sort of going through some of my own personal business, getting overthrown in my own fighting pit and all, but I would reckon it all had to start when we heard that boom outside.
And what was that boom?
I don't want to be mean, but it was this very weird lady. Very, very weird. Her fashion sense, zero. But she flew by, and she actually blew up the portal to the other side of the world, so there was my way back. But, funnily enough, I had actually been looking for work, so this worked out great.
And a monk, a dragonborn monk, actually hired you, I believe, to investigate.
Yeah, he did. Although I can't quite say what his motives were for that. I mean, if he wanted to loot, I'm not going to judge, but whatever his motive was, we went. And when we got there, we saw some very disturbing sights, but we still did our job nonetheless.
So I heard that a member of your party may have made poor decisions when interacting with a mama slime. Can you tell us about that?
Which one? Which one at this point?
The
You
drugs
mean
were fed to
the one that turned
slime.
into a crack dinosaur,
Yes,
right?
the crack dinosaur.
At this point, I was too caught up in the moment. I didn't know who was doing what. All I knew was I was trying to do a kickflip off the wall to kick a slime, and when I hit it, there was bone. So, presumably, I have a few guesses, although everyone's changed so much. I would have to go with Vlad, I believe, was the person who
It's very possible.
kicked that whole series of events off.
But a giant, cracked out slime dinosaur was was not even close to the worst thing you found while you were going through there.
Oh, right. Well, I'm going to skip past the pedophilic, incestuous slime father person that we found down there, because that's not even the worst part. They were killing flumps in those sewers. There were these cultists. Made sure to give them the good old 1-2, but we got transported after one of them was used as a power battery.
And where did it take you?
from how it felt, and if I recall, it was somewhere in the shadow part of the world. I'm not exactly all there, if you can tell by me tonight. But we went through. I tried my hardest to save as many wisps as I could to give them some comfort before they became primordial dust again and were reformed into separate creatures. But when we went through, we fought a couple of things, and we saw this giant, overly British tree man fighting what can only be described as
A bird
in the
lady?
words yep, yes, a bird lady. In the words of Asteria herself, if I recall, after our encounter when we had been talking alone, the big mommy milker bird lady that she wanted to sit on her was fighting Tremius and was on the side that was killing Flumps.
And that's never a
Thankfully-
good side to be on.
Yeah. Any side that kills innocent Flumps is worse than a beholder. And trust me, I know how bad they can be. Although, you know, Paul's fine. Paul's fine. He made me tea for disintegrating my fucking armor. But that's neither here nor there. But yes, the terrible Flump killing evil cult, objectively evil cult, okay? First of all, there is no subjective evil when it comes to killing Flumps. I will tell you that.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
So I believe you managed to escape from there after Tremius took out what was the worst of the cultists.
Yes, the worst of the cultists, the one that had sent shockwaves through the Flump's body.
And then
Once she was dead, we got transported back, but into a prison cell.
So you guys, I know you guys escaped there and made it to the surface. There's also something strange going up on the northwestern peninsula of the continent by Emer. Can you tell us more about what happened there?
Northeast.
There seems to be some sort of weird glowing coming from a copse of trees right against the water outside the wall of the city.
I'm I'm sorry, I nearly forgot about that. Yes, the Flump Shrine. I would suggest that anyone who can should go see it. It was made, well, not by me, it was made by one of the surviving Flumps for their fallen brethren.
Bip the Flump.
Bip the hero.
But that wasn't the last time you would see Bip, was it?
Oh no.
What happened next?
After a very long night's sleep and after a very long drinking session, we woke up in another pseudo-realm, one parallel to our own. And there we met Bip and Bop, which were the Flumps that we were able to try and rescue. They were hanging out with Tremius, the agonizingly suave tree from before.
I think you're the first person to describe him as suave or British.
He was both of those things to me. Because first off, I do not know what a British person is. I've just been using that as a term for annoying. But as for...
Should somebody tell Ikarath?
Who's that?
Oh. So continuing on, you met Tremius and Bip and Boop in there. Did you meet anybody else?
We met Flit out of his natural habitat, in between the boobs of a stripper. I'm very surprised that he was able to keep it in his pants for the, 30 seconds that we were there? But, all jokes aside, he's a very pleasant person. Just don't stare directly at him because it burns your retinas out faster than dipping them in liquid fire. But, you know what they say, gotta be hot. And there
gods.
yeah. And there we actually met a few more people.
Oh, and who were they?
We met a very angry walking toaster. And we also met a very, silver-tongued wouldn't give him credit where it's due. He's definitely earned the gold medal. But he was a very pleasant bard. One that has regretfully saved me from my own stupidity multiple times. We'll get to that in a second, however.
So, you met up with a god and this tree. What did they want?
They asked for our help in taking out this corruption, which, now that we have a bit more context, I believe is being caused by Nova Stain. I don't know what they're the god of. They're the god of putting a paperclip in each of your toenails and slamming them against a wall. That's how I'd have to say my experience with them thus far has been.
That's true. Technically, they present themselves as representing the god Barteo, who ferries people through the afterlife. But Barteo is a peaceful god, so it might be a little bit strange with how this church is acting, but when you were sent, where were you sent after that?
We were told to go to the first tree, because that is where our mission would lead us. But I was a bit reluctant at first. I needed to go punch some orphan children. Not in a bad way, by the way. They tried to rob me.
You heard it here first. Krailin punches little children.
No, I do not punch little children. I punch thieves, and I didn't even punch them that hard. I could have snapped two of their necks. I will be honest with you, they knocked themselves out trying to rob me. I didn't even have to lift a finger for 3 of them.
I don't think they ever hit you.
No, they did not. One got his knife into my chest, and I'm sorry, he did not have enough force. He pushed with the palm of his hand and let go of the grip. He dropped his knife in front of me after trying to rob me. I don't know what's going on with these new kids.
The youth these days.
Yes, the youth these days. 2 years ago when I was just a rapscallion before all the weird shit happened, I would never have let myself come to that level. You don't take 4 people, you take 8. You don't take knives, you take swords. And you don't take non-magic users, you take anyone who can use magic. Especially
even if their name is Vlad?
See, Vlad will get to in a second, because that motherfucker burnt me so bad that the rock on my arms is still healing.
You almost
I don't even know how
he stole
he did
life energy from you. Back in the Shadow Realm. We're not even there yet. That's my bad.
We are not there, but I could give less of a shit about that. Like, look at my arm. Look at me. You see this? This was a burnt patch of skin. Now my elbow can't even close all the way.
I believe that you may have gotten a nickname as a result of that.
They have neglected to tell me what said nickname was. Would you mind enthralling me with this ludicrous information?
Krailin, the twice blasted.
They are going to die in their sleep tomorrow. Thank you. Thank
but
you
all of
very
you
much.
actually have gained that title. The Twice
good.
Blasted but we'll get to why shortly. Well, actually, that's in a future episode.
Oh, yes, we will. So, now we had gone off. We took the angry toaster. We took the very illustrious bull with daddy issues. And we went towards the first tree. On our way, we got stopped by some bugs. We curb stomped them. I still have their mandibles, by the way. Look at them. They're like very disgusting. Why are they squishy? They should be hard. You know.
That's what she said.
You know. We will get to that point too if you don't mind. And also, thank you very much for having your kind guards escort Eryllwn out of the room, because with the amount of jokes that are about to go down, I would probably be knocked out for a week.
It is a unique weapon that can cast Vicious Mockery.
She's always vicious, but
And she's always mocking.
might as well just be an at-will ability now. So, for this, we've gone towards the first tree. And there I had to meet an old friend. An old friend who I did not have the best history with.
And what happened when you met her?
I got slapped approximately 15 times in the span of 30 minutes.
It's a lot of times.
It is. I am not too proud of why I got slapped either. But I am going to leave that emotional wound to fester for a while longer before I rip it open like Vlad does to one of his Doritos bags.
Yes, and for those watching, he blue-balled a descendant of a god.
She was only a quarter god, and I only blue. And you know why I blue-balled her.
It
you
still
know.
happened. She was less than pleased with him. But there was corruption going on, I believe, that you were going to take care of. And what happened? What was going on with that?
There was corruption by the first tree. We went in. We got some help from some wisps, which were very kind. However, they called me Sparkly Pants, if I remember correctly. And I'm not too happy. I was very happy, actually, because prior to this, we had gotten some fancy new clothes. But being called Sparkly Pants was not the greatest part of this. So, after we had gotten our way through the various dark caverns and portals,
I believe you almost fell off into the abyss several times.
It was a total of 5. And yes, because I thought it would just be easier to shove these monstrosities back into the abyss from which they came.
And instead you almost shoved yourself in there.
Yes, multiple times, yes.
Which is the opposite of what he was getting slapped for earlier.
You know, I'm doing a great service by not just walking out of here, right? Well, no, I physically can't walk out of here. You took my legs, but I could hobble out of here. So, we went through these portals. We took every single wrong one. Every single wrong one.
And what was running around there?
Dastardly demons, dogs, very amateurish children trying to be themselves.
And
I think a goth twink was. Yeah, Eldritch horrors are nothing too much to scoff at, but
That's when
I
you
mean,
made it into the final section, and I heard you had some difficulty with a kid's sand pit.
it was not a sand pit, it was a sand trap, and it was not a kid's
Oh, so you were
sand.
golfing.
I will be golfing with your testicles soon if you don't stop. But in all seriousness, yes, this was a sand pit from hell. It burned our skin. It burned my ego, and we had to shovel it out in order to walk across. But that wasn't the best part. I would say the best part of that entire experience was finally getting out and getting to let up some pent-up frustration, and as soon as I tried to push something off, I was getting berated by my team. My own team was yelling at me, saying, "Don't push them off, you'll just fall off again. You have no sense of balance. You have no 2 feet." Fuck you! I have a sense of balance and I can dance!
Except for, if I recall correctly, you also almost fell off into the lava again.
Look. What happened was, it was a tactical maneuver. Okay.
So
Then
you
we got
killed out the corruption all in the Shadow Realm. You came back.
well
Pharaoh
after
was
I had a
waiting.
seizure from eating mushrooms.
Oh yeah. You're no
That was-
Icarus.
I feel like this Icaroth fellow should try some of those mushrooms. Maybe then he'd stay down and stay not British.
I believe he has tried some of those mushrooms.
Okay. Oh, yes. Once we finally got out, I was assaulted by coins. It was not my proudest moment. One of the funnier ones, maybe. But getting pelted by coins by someone you were going to love who hadn't found a love in 800 years. You know, in all retrospect, I think that may have been the pushing point for her to hate me after I did what I did. But
I do believe that to a degree you did reconcile, and I believe she left the door open.
yes. I made sure to let her know what was on the note that I left her all those many, many months ago. And it has been a constant pain in my back, literally, reading the contents of that note.
And I believe somebody got an earful that they did not intend to get. Because you met somebody along the way that we're forgetting here.
Oh, right.
I believe it's a small, grumpy, hairy little dwarf man.
It is a very small persnickety old man who has the vocabulary dueling skills of a well-trained scholar. I guarantee he has done more damage with his words alone than any bard could possibly do to me.
Has he done more or less damage than Eryllwn?
For those who don't know, Eryllwn is still my weapon. And yes, but I do believe Eryllwn still has the lead on that. I'm just glad that she can't control herself yet, because I guarantee I will wake up one day and find that she has materialized in my nether regions. Probably underneath the skin so she can cut me as soon as I try to move and run away.
Probably accurate. So, following that, you met
And yet,
two
you
unique...
people keep trying to give her experience.
You met two unique individuals, I believe, in an inn in the first Tree City. Can you tell me a little bit more about them?
my kids, yes. Well, not official, not adopted yet. Sugar Tart and Pop Tart. They were very energetic when they expressed their gratitude, and they sang their merry little songs. So much so that I wish that I had some sort of adhesive tape to put over their gaping mouths for 1 second, please.
And what did they need?
They needed help in a forest. The forest that had the polluted river. The polluted river that Vlad from earlier, our very pyrocentric ex-soldier mage, decided he would blow up.
And right
twice.
There.
Once
Go ahead.
when he was just trying it, and a second time when my limp, unconscious body was in the gaping maw of King Sajay, a telepathic creature that Dane attacked and provoked, thus causing us to almost die.
Yes, that's exactly how it went. And
It totally
it's totally
didn't
not
happen
going to
because
be at all contradicted by a future episode in this video series named Near Death Experience that you guys can watch here on YouTube.
I will not be watching that because I want to stick to my side of the story. I will not say anything about the Pebble because they had failed their stealthing technique and I needed to give them a second chance. But I didn't realize that my throwing skills suck harder than than the goddamn bard.
So with that,
Speaking of which, actually, we did do something before we went to the Great Forest. The Great City of Watoon, I believe it is pronounced.
Yes.
I went there for a day. We were told not to stay past night. We did anyway, however, we didn't see why. Although, if you ask me, I think it's just because they've got a lot of bears around at night, if you get my meaning.
Well, Bishop certainly would be one to know.
Yes, he would. Although, I will say, it is quite ironic that he fell for an MLM. But, all I'm saying is, I'm not the one who got so much clap it could be considered a standing ovation that night.
That did happen.
It was very funny in the morning. Very funny.
So,
however, I did sort of
go ahead.
spit feed wine to my weapons, so
In the
that's
shower.
also probably something. I also took a shower, yes. She has not shut up about it since, so that's been fantastic for me.
And if you want to find out more about Krailin, Bishop, Cricket, they also met a satyr on the way to the forest who was an order cleric, more than willing to help out with this expedition to the forest, but we don't know why. And if you want to find out why and find out more about Vladimir, Dane, Bishop, Cricket, and Krailin, you can look at the videos subsequent to this on YouTube, or you can catch it live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Do you have any parting words, Krailin?
Yes, to our adoring fans and audience, please stop giving experience to Eryllwn. I'm afraid that she's going to become as strong as us and then be able to become sentient fully, and then just fly around and stab me whenever I look at other women.
We'll find out if that happens. Thank you guys.
Please, this is a service announcement. Please, 1-800 help Krailin not get stabbed.
Or if you're of that bent, you can help him get stabbed by giving experience to Eryllwn in the Twitch chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.
Have a good day, everyone.